Well, it is one of those new trends among teenagers, sexting. That's sending a sexual image of someone in a text. But if that image is of someone under the age of 18, sexting becomes a serious crime. Well, the Kent County Health Department's taking a new approach to try to warn kids about the repercussions, and they're doing it in a comic book. Lisa LaPlante is the Marketing and Communications Manager for the Kent County Health Department. Lisa, thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks, Brian.
Message Sent is the name of the comic book. It's kind of a graphic book, you know, one of these things that appeal to younger teenage kids. Do you think they're going to get the message here?
I think so. I think that with teenagers, they react well to images as well as words. If we had just put this out in a pamphlet with a bunch of words, it would end up on the bottom of their locker at the end of the year. We sent this out to coincide with National Teen Dating Violence Awareness and Prevention Month. And so far, the response has been overwhelming. We've seen a lot of schools show interest. We've already given out 1,500 of these.
Who are you aiming at age-wise here? Because I gotta believe, you know, kids are savvy. If they're using these devices already, who are you aiming at? Kind of the preteen, teenage kids that might have access to mobile phones?
We're looking at the 13 to 17-year-olds, and what we're finding is that in a national study recently, 17-year-old teenagers said that they received some sort of pornographic or explicit picture. At least 30% of them said that they received a picture like that. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that kids are aware that if they take that picture and they send it, they are legally responsible. If somebody gets that picture and passes it on to a friend, they become legally responsible. And this is a felony. This ends up on your record. You can end up on the sex offender registry if you're guilty of this crime.
So you're hoping that even the kids might think, oh, this is a little corny. They're going to look at this, they're going to read the content, and maybe that'll drive home the message here instead of, like you said, something that's just a pamphlet where they're going to ignore it.
And it's compelling content, too. It actually talks to the typical teenager, and it uses some of the words that teenagers use. The focus group that we worked with said that they would pay attention to something like this. And like I said, so far we've given out 1,500 of these. High schools have been very receptive. Parents have been receptive.
I was going to say, parents, what role do they play in all this?
Well, you know, parents can actually talk to their kids, sit down with them, ask them what they're doing when they're texting. Take a look at what your kids are texting every once in a while. Ask them if it's okay, if they have some sort of access to the texts. And in a lot of cases, what we're finding is that when parents have that conversation ahead of time, that I'm going to take a look at what you're texting, kids will tend to behave a little bit better and not send out those sexts or inappropriate messages.
Yeah, it's a big deal with big repercussions if it happens. Lisa LaPlante with the Kent County Health Department. Lisa, thanks for coming in tonight.
Thanks, Brian.